Welcome to Penguin Random House Canada. In this video, I will show you a behind-the-scenes inside scoop of what it's really like working in publishing as a publicity intern to the biggest publishing company in the world, with success secrets. From being trampled by heaps of books, to packaging and pitching unreleased books to important media contexts, and escorting authors to morning shows or radio interviews around Toronto. Oh, and you'll want to practice how to say charcuterie. You'll thank me later. My day starts at 5:30 in the morning, commuting for about 1.5 to 2 hours one way. It used to drain me a lot, but I found ways to stay optimistic. You can't help but feel like you're in a movie with these breathtaking views of the city. My little walk to the office was magical. I constantly felt inspired by the chaos and city chatter. Some days you'd see me walking with my head down and nose buried in a new unreleased book, like Liza from Younger. We order our floor like a food item on the menu and check our hair and outfit in the mirror. With a key to unlock the pages of the 14th floor, the main office greets you. You shake hands with the books and release the breath you didn't realize you were holding. Just kidding. This right here was my daily catwalk. The books would either whisper mean rumors about my hair flyaways or laugh at my dramatic but questionable print choices down the daily runway. They never lie. Honestly, being surrounded by acres of books is the coolest work ambiance, because wherever you turn, there they are, just begging you to open them up and escape. As an intern, let me tell you how cool it is to have your own desk, your own space to call home, and an office with walls and everything. We have walls! So let's start by talking about the administrative responsibilities. Oops, got distracted by the view. This right here was my dream office view. You don't understand the amount of joy I felt always posting this on my Instagram, which by the way you can follow at lattesdarling. But seriously, how can you not get distracted by this majestic towering presence? Anyways, some of the admin tasks included ordering books online for important media contexts, like Globe and Mail or Toronto Star for example, printing, reformatting, and labeling each package. Off to the 11th floor we go! Here we compile PR material to go along with the book and send it off to our office services team in the mailroom. The mailroom tends to get hectic when there's quite a bit of urgent mail that needs to head out immediately because, say the morning show anchor didn't receive it earlier and needs it ASAP. But this is also the room where you get to meet so many cool people from other departments, and mostly also all of the other interns and assistants that tend to regularly drop in and out. But the best part of this room is that the status quo renders it the therapy room. It's just a completely different vibe and you feel it when you walk in. This is the place to unwind, vent, rant, and chat about all things lifestyle and movies. You just feel safe. As a publicity intern, you might as well leave your toothbrush here because honey, you're moving in. And you just know I would get distracted by this view on the hour, especially when it rained or snowed. Pure beauty. What's really awesome about mailings is that sometimes you get to mail out the book you're working on. One of the many books I got to work on was The Authenticity Project. Such a good read. We got to work with the marketing department and research engaged mommy book bloggers that might be interested in the relatable themes of the book. So, you would be responsible for brainstorming PR materials. We decided to go to Staples and buy a few notebook items that pertain to blogging / being a mom, for example like stickers just to go along with the package, and wrote copy for the little personalized cards. From ordering books to pitching bloggers to mailing their packages out, you learn so much from the process. So if you thought that as an intern you were going to fetch coffee and lunch for your boss like in the movies, this ain't the place. Some days you get really important projects and responsibilities to work on, and others you're back on the admin wheel, like this, newspaper / magazine media monitoring for mentions of our books. So yes, literally the job was to flip through magazines. You guys, during my internship I learned everything there is to know about the fashion choices of the royal family, if it was yay or nay. How many other jobs can you do this freely in? Something I adored about the PRH office work style was that it was really chill. You could eat at your desk whenever you wanted to, have a coffee break when you're overwhelmed or stressed, and take your lunch whatever time you wanted to. You could listen to music in your earphones while doing work, sipping your coffee, flipping those magazines, such a dream office work style. You honestly get to create your own schedule based on the tasks needed and deadline urgency. Oh, and you leave early if you finish all of your daily tasks. The pub department really is the coolest out there. I was always dying from laughter at our inside jokes and stories and dramatic dilemmas. It was honestly such a great culture to work in with the funniest people. Told you there'd be a flood of books following your every move. The Michelle Obama journals you just saw we were packaging for influencers for the marketing department, with even a seal of approval by the CEO, Kristen Cochran, who was walking by that moment and was so happy to see it. A fun project we got to work on as publicity interns whenever we had free time was to order a bajillion copies of books to our desks in a particular theme of our choosing and dress them all up in a cute fashion on the huge shelves near our pod to greet all the PRH staff when walking by. My theme here was cheesy romance fiction. I worked so hard in the details of twisting, turning, and basically modeling the books to look cute and aesthetically pleasing and just creatively different. They were my pride and joy. You can't ever pass any PRH shelves without twisting your neck or stopping at a few that've caught your eye. They hypnotize you. It's really funny to be able to observe this behavior from literally any employee here as well. It's what unites us. And I know what you might be thinking. Are employees actually allowed to just pick whatever books they want out of any shelves? I mean, no, not really. But people still do it. I guess it's just more fun when it's a forbidden fruit and whatnot. Last year, I created a blind date with a book idea for Christmas here on my shelf. First, it was really hard for me to speak my voice and share ideas because, you know, as an intern, you feel like it's not in your place. But in fact, here it's really encouraged. Speak, even if your voice shakes. I was so proud of this idea that's never been done before in our office. My idea even got turned into a fun date with a book for Valentine's Day up in our front display shelves at the main front desk. And employees were Instagramming how proud they were to work in a place with such an initiative. It was the best feeling ever. So in the beginning, there were lots of small things to learn, so I literally took notes of everything, like go to file, save as, print preview. Comment down below, by the way, if you've been getting all of my TV show references so far. I'll love you forever. Here we're learning how to make a TI sheet for Manuscripts. Oops, distracted by homemade cookies at the CBC Christmas market across the street. Anyways, the most important thing is to learn in a safe way that allows for mistakes to become a part of your growth process. So I got really lucky with my team leaders. TI sheets are essentially like a PR that notes the ISBNs, genres, publicists, etc., just all of that information. The manuscripts are still very fresh in the editing stages, and so we need to print them out in our printer room to send to media contacts. So let's start the saga about the printer that shall not be named. This printer right here is the embodiment of a toxic relationship. You spend many a days and nights just begging it to connect, to work, to follow simple instructions. And then it simply ghosts you, like you meant nothing to it. You're just sat there wondering if you were enough. Then the document prints out, and you forget your qualms until the next hour. My lunch break was usually spent working on a YouTube video. Being a commuter, you don't really have much time for a life, so I tried really hard to squeeze in things that I had no time or energy for. Also, every day I tried my ultimate mental power to stop my legs from taking me straight to Starbucks or the CBC food court. I lost the battle 90% of the time, but I don't regret a thing. I told myself that even interns need fuel and inspiration. Okay, so the office is full of free food pretty much on the weekly, and it's almost always yummy catered fancy food leftovers from editorial or marketing meetings. The skip my heart gets when I get that Slack notification in the food channel touches my soul in just unexplainable ways. Also, taking selfies in the elevator and bathroom is a rite of passage. Hands down, best lighting in the entire office, especially when your outfit is on point. I always dressed up most of the time just because I really wanted to feel my best and live out my younger TV fashion wardrobe fantasies. The vibe is business casual, but I still wanted to be cute. Whenever I wore my favorite outfits, it made me feel powerful beyond measure, like I could handle anything thrown my way that day. Also, you don't want to know how many times I had coffee throughout the day, including the office coffee machine. But it was always a moment to catch up with people in your surrounding pod areas who were also fellow coffee addicts. You also become more comfortable bumping into the CEO Kristen in the hallways or near a Starbucks, the COO Robert in the elevator, or Beth, the VP of marketing, or just the department directors or publishers. It's always so daunting at first. The elevator is like a vortex that constantly mixes people together and pushes you out of your comfort zone. And it's so rewarding in the end because it's so cool to connect with the leaders of the company over a shared love for an upcoming book. Moving on to the really fun part, office and author events. Always with fun snacks and drinks, and look at that, a freaking donut wall. We helped put those donuts together for our office morning toast for PRH being named the top 2020 employers. There is always something to celebrate. Publishing really knows how to make an event. There are usually 2 to 3 exciting events happening each week. This is an example of a children's book publishing event, Teddy Bear Awards. As a publicity intern, a huge part of your responsibility is that of an event coordinator. You have to do a little scavenger hunt around all the kitchens in the office for flute or wine glasses and everything else in our pub closet like tablecloth, dressing up the room with books, bringing hundreds of sticky notes and Sharpies for author signings, etc. But look how cute the decor is! You would also be in charge of opening bottles and serving people throughout the night, making sure everything is ready to go. The kids' publicity team is so cool, they really went all out. And the food is always amazing finger food. So many perks to the job. Especially when you're exhausted from a long 9-to-5 day, since most of the events where the public joins would be in the evening after hours. At first, these type of events made me really nervous, but it definitely got easier in time once you were familiar with people. It's really important to go out of your comfort zone. And now let's move to another exciting aspect, behind the scenes of TV or radio media outlets for author interviews. Being backstage and having that be a part of your job is an unreal pitch me feeling. It's really cool and a crazy world where you just get to see the morning host that everyone else watches on their TVs. Being in the same building of TV networks that you grew up watching, it's absolutely incredible every time. One of the main purposes in escorting your author to interview appearances is to support them and their needs. So, a publicist will pitch their assigned book to media outlets, schedule and coordinate interviews, and create a whole timeline for the author, including booking hotels, food, multiple interviews, basically taking care of their schedule. It's really cool because as an intern, you really get to learn about that whole process. I got many book titles and projects that I had to pitch to media outlets, and even got 2 media hits where I scheduled my author with 2 global morning show TV interviews. That's the stuff you get to do as an intern. Really important publicist role-like assignments. So then, after scheduling everything, the goal becomes to escort the author in order to make their interview experience as smooth and stress-free as possible. Here are some behind the scenes of a radio interview at the next location that day in my author escorting. As opposed to the previous morning show segment that was pre-recorded, I believe this radio interview was live. These are the small details that you would have to coordinate as a publicist with the media outlet. So there's that element of time management and organization and email, just back and forth in terms of scheduling and coordinating. I honestly loved that stuff, and it helps you learn how to create meaningful connections with PRH partners. Creating relationships with the media is key in being successful in promoting your authors. Another author escorting event that I got to be a part of was at the ROM. So going a little bit back, the day started with a few 7 a.m. interviews at morning shows, then taking a cab to some more radio interviews, and then getting ready for an evening speaking engagement at the ROM with a book signing. It was really cool to be a part of this experience and have access to the ROM's newest exhibit that directly reflected the contents of the author's book. Here we're just getting lunch and finalizing some more details for our author's schedule. I remember this burger and fries were so good. Usually an out-of-town author will fly in and have a couple days in the city, so just to make the best use of their time, it's best to squeeze in as many interviews and appearances in that time frame as possible. When authors have book signings and readings, your job as an intern is to arrive at the venue ahead of time and coordinate all the details to make sure everything is running smoothly. So even a few days or a week before the event, I would travel to the venue with a publicist and talk about the needs of this event ahead of time. So how much space, people, chairs, food, mics, space for signing lines, just everything. And then arrive a couple hours before the event to get all the books ready, the equipment, ticket people in, make sure that the catering that you scheduled is arriving on time, greet the author, and just make sure that they have everything they need to get through this event. Fruit plates and charcuterie boards are the love language of the publishing industry, mark my words. You'll have them in almost every in-office or out-of-office author event. You get to meet so many authors this way while you're assigning people sticky notes with their names. These go inside each person's book in the signing line to make book signing quicker for the author. And then, at the end of the night, when your heels are sore, you buy yourself some food or Starbucks and take a cab home. That was always my favorite part of the night because I felt like Harry Bradshaw, and the night lights of the CN Tower and city skyscrapers always made me so happy. So, if you've always wanted to work in publishing, this may be the perfect place for you. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Come for the cheese and bubbly, stay for the books. Happy reading!